All right, this is Charter Oak senior Brandon Guzman, guy they consider the leader of this team. Brandon, just as a kid's perspective, player's perspective, when you found out that Coach Lou was struggling with his health, what went through your mind and your teammates' minds?
Well, when they first told us, we were all together as a group in a room. So it was like, we were all talking, chilling. They came in, told the news, atmosphere totally changed. It was just a whole nother, like, nobody wanted to believe it sucked. But
Was it emotional?
it was very emotional. His grandson's with us, so he was back there teared up. But it's something we can go through. We're gonna fight it, and yeah, it hurt a lot of us. But
What do you appreciate about Coach? Like, I know you're young, so 10 years from now, you'll probably appreciate more than you do now.
Definitely.
But what do you appreciate about him and his program?
Well, when I got pulled up, he took me in automatically. I know he's seen it in me. He was always there for me, and he was always giving me the right right examples and right advices. And he's always just kept 100 with the team. And whenever he could be here, he's always trying to be here. And we are the ones that drive him.
What would you, as a leader, what would you want him to know that the players, do you guys think about him all the time, pray about him?
Everything about, I got it on my bracelets. I got 4 of them. Always with me. Thank you, always with me.
Okay.
So, yep, every practice is for him. This whole season's about to be for him.
Because are you 17 or 18?
17, sir.
You're 17, you don't even start thinking about death until you
Yeah.
get much older, and
Sure.
your coach is battling his butt off right now to be out here with you. What does it mean to even see him in a cart out here? Does that inspire you guys?
Man, it makes me. It makes me. The love that I have for Big Lou, it makes me keep going. It makes me want to keep running, keep playing, keep doing what one day I might not be able to do anymore. So
One of the coolest things some of your former Charter Oak players have said, they weren't always coming into this program on the greatest of behavior. They had issues at home, and he gave them that chance that they needed, and now they're living productive lives. How much is that, Coach Lou? I mean, is that just the love he gives to you guys?
that is, yes.
But tough love, right?
Tough love, definitely. He keeps it real with you, and he is gonna better you, stronger you. He wants you to be a man. That's what the end product is when Big Lou's finished with you. It's all love, and he creates you into a man.
And with the fact that Dom's out here all the time, his son, the family in general, are they special to all you guys?
Oh, Dom is like my dad. Dom buys me foods. He takes me places. If I need somewhere to stay, he lets me stay there. I text him every 9 days. So, yeah.
So
sure.
definitely, if he ever needed anything, the players would be right there to help him out,
there.
right? Okay. All right, this is Charter Oak graduate Joey Strykula from 1995. He's also now he was a walk-on at UCLA, was a really good college football player, and he's now the principal. The Strykulas had a big impact on this campus as well, in this program, including your brother and your dad and others. Your grandpa's out at Citrus, right?
Yes, sir.
When you heard about Lou's condition, what did you think? What first hit you?
Just unfortunate. A good friend of ours and former Vice Principal Glenn Martinez, CCF Commissioner, just recently passed. We've had some teachers as of late that have passed away for cancer. So when we heard about him having leukemia, just another unfortunate scenario and situation for the Charter Oak community.
His son, and I talked to Lou today, and he said the outpouring of support from people who he expected to and didn't expect mean the world to him. What has it been like for you to see people rally around your former coach and your friend?
It's been really inspiring, actually. We had the drive this past Saturday for him, and I believe as of Saturday it was 300 and counting that donated a swab. And seeing all the different generations and guys over the years come out and give him support and just rally one another is really inspiring. It lets you know what type of community culture has been created around here, and he's a direct impact of that.
Well, I've told a lot of people that one of the things that a lot of the kids say that I've talked to about his impact is they came here in less than ideal home lives, and they give him credit for being a stable adult now. And I mean, you came from a really solid family, but what do you most take away from your time as a player here? What did he instill in you, if anything?
I think life lessons. Again, he develops the whole child. It's not just about the win and loss record, but the human being itself. That's why so many people have come back to coach on his staff. From a principal perspective, the one thing that I love seeing is when he communicates with our current young teachers. Each and every day he's instilling some type of wisdom, and his sense of humor. Actually, a lot of people don't know he's got a heck of a sense of humor, and him being around our young staff and being exposed to him has been awesome.
Okay, so last question. You're talking to Lou in the camera. What would you most want him to know about the Charter Oak family in general?
I think the fact that he impacted so many different people, again, is just so inspiring.
Okay.
I think he's seen firsthand how many people he's impacted, and it's actually quite amazing.
Okay.
Andrew Kaluzny,
So he's a first-year coach. You went to Glendora High School, played quarterback. What year did you graduate?
2009.
Okay. So you came to Charter Oak. This is your first year. Tell me what you knew about Coach Lou before you got here.
Well, everyone I think that grows up in the Valley definitely knows of Big Lou, just from the respect and everything that he's done in the community, and everything he's done with this football program. Every time I step on this field, it's the person that I think of.
So when you got hired, what were your excited? Were you nervous? What were your thoughts?
Both excited and nervous. 'Cause
Okay.
you're meeting a legend.
Yeah.
You're meeting someone that just people have talked about, and someone that you face on the opposite sideline that you've just seen. And he's a statue there, and he's someone that it's always been bigger than the game.
As crazy as it sounds, knowing that Lou and his family need more people to just give him group hugs and this and that, as sad as it is, are you glad you're part of the people that are around him, showing him how much respect you guys have for him, how much love you have for him? Is that something that the coaches try to do every day?
Absolutely. It's been amazing, just seeing everybody, all walks of life come through, and that's been absolutely amazing, because that's what you want to be. You strive to be a Big Lou. When we had the swab, here at the high school, just seeing everyone come through, and you're looking at him, and that's what you want to be. You want to have all those people come by and show the respect, and that's what he means in the community. So absolutely.
How many people he impacted as well.
Absolutely.
Last question, what's something you appreciate, respect most about just being around him?
I think the advice that he gives you, and that you can feel, the love when he talks to you, and you feel that he means it.
That you matter, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You're just not another person.
Is it fair to say that all you coaches, all the players, constantly thinking about him, praying for him?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, every day we're out here. Absolutely.
So you're talking to Lou right now. What's the thing you'd most want to tell him?
Just keep fighting, Coach. Keep fighting. We're behind you all the way, and I know the whole community's behind you all the way. And keep fighting.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Anthony Clemenson. I was a player for Big Lou back on the 2008 championship team, graduated in 2010.
Now you're back coaching, or now you're coaching for him?
Oh yeah, I'm coaching for him now. It's my second year back. I'm running his technology in the back end. With today's day and age of football, someone needs to make sure that all the technology is locked in.
Can you tell people that maybe haven't been part of this program what Lou not only means to this school, this program, but to the individuals and people like you?
He's always been called the unofficial mayor of Charter Oak because Charter Oak's not a real city, right? But he's just been a big impact to this school for years. I played for him. My brother played for him. Everybody that's come through here as brothers and sisters that just want to play for Big Lou, and I don't feel like you get that anywhere else because it's just the impact he has.
How rocked were you guys when you found out the news about his health?
I was just shocked. I thought he'd be out here for another 10 years, and to hear that be in jeopardy, it's heartbreaking for sure.
To see him out though, like him here every day, does that give you, positive thoughts that, hey, he's going to fight this?
Oh yeah, he'll no doubt he's going to fight it, but I'm just surprised at how strong of a dude he is, that he's still out here giving everything he's got to go through.
Last question, what's something you definitely want Lou to know that your family and your friends and your teammates are thinking? What would you want him to know about his impact on your life?
Well, Big Lou, you know the big impact you've had on the Clemensons and all of us that came through here, my three brothers and sisters, and we hope that you would be able to come out here in a few more years with us and get us a few more CAF championships because you deserve it, and to get all the accolades back to you would be just phenomenal when you're not here. So.
Hi, I'm Coach Smith. This is my 21st year here with Big Lou, and I'm a 1986/85 graduate on the football team, and so I've pretty much been here my whole life. So.
How would you describe Lou's impact on you as not only a player but a person and now a grown man?
Oh well, obviously we started out as a teenager, and all the way up into 2019 from the 80s is a long time, and he's been there every step of the way. So he never leaves you. He really got me my first job here, so I owe a lot to him besides all the other intangibles.
One of the coolest things past players have told me was they were heading down the wrong path until they got into Lou's, when I say family, he makes you guys feel like family. How much do you respect the fact that he takes kids that maybe sometimes others weren't and they turn into productive human beings? How rewarding is that for you to see that happen?
Well, he's instilled it, honestly, we were just talking about this last night, he's instilled it into all of his coaches, and we don't ever give up on anybody. We say we're teachers, and if you're not in it for every kid, then you're in it for the wrong reasons.
What would you want Coach to know that you're thinking, your family's thinking in terms of his situation?
Oh, well, I mean, it's a constant, prayer and family support system. So we just go take everything day by day and support each other the best way that we know how. And it's just a big family, and everybody just takes turns.
All right, this is Charter Oak sophomore Vincent Farrar. He is a quarterback, and he's the son of Dominic and the grandson of Coach Lou. Hey, obviously these aren't the questions I'd like to ask you right before football season, but your grandpa's a super special man. When you found out about his condition, what was your reaction?
I was kind of sad because my grandpa has been the rock of our family and is a big pivotal role in my life. He's kind of like a second father to me, and I always look up to him and always teach me his life lessons. And I've always been around him. So I was kind of sad by it. It's not a death sentence, it's a life sentence. It's a way to celebrate his life.
Well, what a lot of people need to know is if he's going to get treatment somewhere, there's no better place than City of Hope.
Exactly.
So there's so many reasons to be optimistic. You've been around, how old were you when you were wandering the sidelines?
Probably since I was born. I started becoming a baller when I was 3,
Okay.
under my brother who was the leader. So
What makes you most proud to be part of this program?
I think the most interesting thing about this program than any other program is kind of the family atmosphere around here. I know each and every person's my brother out here, and I can account of them, and they can keep me accountable, and we all love each other.
What do you feel like what's your job in helping your dad, your grandfather get through this stage? Like, what do you feel like you need to contribute in this situation?
I think just bring a positive energy and make sure to keep my head up and make sure my papa's doing okay overall.
Okay. Is there anything in terms of the football season that, because Lou said being out here with the kids makes him stronger, gives him that will to fight on along with his family and friends. But as a player, as a grandson, when you see him in the golf cart, what does that do to you? I talked to Guzman. He said it inspires him to picks him up. What does it mean to you to see your grandpa out
It
there?
inspires me a lot because I know he's going through a tough struggle, but he's all hiding it because he wants to do what's best for the program and treats every kid as his grandchild, just as he treats me. So I feel like it inspires me a lot to push myself and take that inch step. Maybe in the weight room, maybe lift 10 more pounds than my max.
Last question. I was talking to Guzman about this, and he said one of the saddest parts is when they found out, they saw you in the back tearing up.
Mm-hmm.
How have your teammates supported you in this situation?
They've always held my back and always keep my head up. They kind of give me encouraging words. All of them, from the captains from Biz is a great example. He pulled me aside and talked to me and brought me to more tears. But
Okay.
overall, great teammates, and I'm really appreciative to have them as my brothers.
Awesome. All right, this is Mr. Dominic Farrar. How many years have you coached with your dad? No?
Since 1991.
And you graduated in 89?
Correct.
Okay. When I've talked to a lot of these coaches about your dad, almost every single one of them has said, yeah, we love Lou, but Dominic is just as amazing. Do you feel like it's your job to carry on the tradition that he built in such a winning way here in terms of just reaching out, getting kids, helping them become better human beings?
I've continually preached the last several weeks when we've gone through this surreal kind of numbing experience when people ask us to get nostalgic and reflect on my dad's legacy. He taught me at a very young age to think about the question, will it matter that I was? And so at the end of the day, we just want to matter. And my dad has mattered just for so many walks of life over so many different generations. The least I can do is to continue to honor him and serve him, because as he's been selfless and been a servant and a shepherd to our community, I feel like I need to be accountable and uphold that standard, that expectation that he's had. And so that we do. We don't make money. We've always said we make people. And the greatest gift that we can receive is the gift to give. And I marvel at my dad right now, because through this adversity, to see him have the resolve and the perseverance to continue to fight the good fight, what an inspiration to every one of us.
Your dad was saying he could not be standing today. He could not be fighting this without the love, friendship, and companionship of his wife, your mother. Can you describe how much she impacts, not just over the last 50 years, but now? Can you put into words how valuable your mom is just for your dad alone?
So if my father's the patriarch, she's the matriarch.
Okay.
And between the two of them, I think they're both the two cornerstones and the pillars of just the excellence. But their motivation has always been intrinsic, and is that core value system, that moral compass that they've guided each and every one of us, and it's just been joy to just see the journey and they've really shown me here in the last several weeks. I appreciate, respect now what that means to be soulmates. There's a certain amount of fragility in each of us right now with what my dad's going through, but to just love unconditionally and to just rally to each other, it is just, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have that as a model and example in my life.
Well, and they live up to that vow for sickness, or their wedding vow, and we talked a couple weeks ago, and you talked about that, and your dad said the same thing, that the reaction from this area, this state, the country, how overwhelming has it been, not only for your dad but for yourself, to see that kind of support in the time that you need it the most?
I don't know. I mean, it is almost indescribable.
Is it kind of numbing?
It really is, because to just see the outpour of love and support. I mean, people, young and old, every walk of life, strangers to people that we've had intimate relationships with for tens upon tens of years. Literally, I truly believe in faith and family, and has been uplifting, and just the sincerity. It is, I guess, really the bottom line is, through this tragedy, and this has really kind of transcended people to where this has actually brought out the best in each and every one of us, and we've locked hands, we've made a chain, and we're going to stand back to back, have each other's back, and get on the same side of the rope and just continue to pull, and there's no quitting us.
I asked the kids this, and I wanted to ask you, you and I have talked about my dad going through similar stuff. When you see your dad out here, even though he's not walking around the field, he's in the cart, does that give you a little pump? Does that inspire, maybe not inspire you, but does that give you some hope? Hey, the old man's still fighting this?
Yeah, it's difficult sometimes to detach myself emotionally, because the clinical part of me gets obviously overprotective of him, and wants to make sure that he preserves his quality of life now as best he can. But then when I do emotionally attach myself, he's always taught us this is our sanctuary, this is our happy place.
Okay.
And so for him, I think this is where he feels most safe and secure, and this is what just continually gives him whatever it takes type of attitude to try to overcome this. And I do. He told me one time, a long time ago, to never let the music die inside of me, and just to continue to play that music every day. And then he piggybacked that with, and I don't even know if he'd remember, he taught me that there were going to be struggles in life, but the harder the struggle, the greater the triumph. And he does. He emulates and imitates that model and that example every day of his life.
So 2 really quick questions, and we'll call it a night. What are you most proud about in terms of Lou Farrar being your father?
His legacy. He's always served the greater good of the many, and isn't just what he's done on the scene, is what he's done behind the scenes. Isn't just what he's done for his football family, but has done for the community and beyond. It is fascinating to me that we can go someplace. We live such a public life, but in private, at the end of the day, he's still my dad.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be more proud of my father, personally and professionally, because he treats everybody like family, and I'm grateful that I've been able to share him, and he's been able to share himself, because I can hear him, I can see him, I can feel him in so many different people every day, and how awesome is that?
Well, and to me, you're really lucky, because even decades from now, when he's gone, you will have so much quality time to harken back to think of the good times, to keep his memory in you forever. Last question is, what is something that he taught you that you most use today as a dad, as a coach, as a father, as a son, as a brother? What's the one thing that he instilled in you that you still use to this day?
Passion.
Okay.
Passion for life and passion for relationships. He's lived his life to his fullest, and he literally, he's immeasurable. And to me, he's also been impeccable in terms of his value and worth and what he's meant to people. and his leadership. I mean, nowadays, for him to be as authentic and as effective as he's been for so many years as a leader is unprecedented, unparalleled. Just because every day I've watched him, you know, he talks the talk, but he walks the walk, and I think the best part too is in the last 10, 15 years, especially here and now, he's starting to show his pure side, his truest side, and his best side is he's Big Lou, but he's Papa Lou.
Okay.
And to watch him treat everybody like he treats my children and my sister's children, he's literally treating all of us as his children.
Okay.